So you clicked my video because you want help with simplifying your life. You feel like you're going insane. You feel like you're losing it. You can't even hear yourself think. So people are saying, you're overthinking it. You're like, I can't even hear my thinking or the overthinking to know if I'm even thinking. And then you feel like you're part of a rat race and you're like, who signed me up for this rat race? But nobody signed you up but you. And I remember feeling like I had to get up and go. I bragged about being a go-getter. I bragged about being ambitious, and there's nothing wrong with being ambitious. However, I realized I was on a hamster wheel and I was running fast and getting absolutely nowhere. You ever drive on the highway and you see people speeding to their grave? Like, where are you rushing to, bro? If there ain't nobody in the car in labor, if nobody's dying, where are you going? So then you look at your life, you make a list of goals, and you realize, a whole 12 months went by and I accomplished absolutely nothing. I barely put a dent on my goal list. Yeah, I've been there. You're looking at someone with 5 kids, okay? I am a military spouse and I come from one of the busiest cities on the planet, New York City. And I had to come to terms with how was I going to truly live a supportive and healthy life if I continued to move this way. It was killing me, literally killing my physical health, my mental health, and it was beginning to affect my family. And I accomplished nothing in the process of moving fast. And in fact, after simplifying my life and doing something called the process of elimination, I was able to actually reach my goals faster than before. It blew my mind. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me this secret? Anyways, I came up with 10 tips to simplify your life. And if it helped me with 5 kids, a military spouse, okay, trust me, I know for a fact it's going to help you. Now, my tips are going to be a little different from the norm. I realize that because my process may be different from what you've seen on other channels, okay? So my first tip will be to accept what is. I know that sounds strange. You thought, hey, she's going to tell us to just get rid of social media, to meditate day and night and start praying. Yeah, that's cute and all. We can do that. But first, before doing that, we have to change your mindset. We have to first tackle what's standing before you right now by first accepting what is, accepting your current reality. Quite often we try to resist what is, and we don't realize how much we're hurting ourselves. I have 5 children, which I've mentioned before. I cannot do the things that my friends without children can do. I cannot freely move around in the ways that even my friends who are single moms can move when they're still in their communities where they have their mom, they have their dad, they have their family, they have their friends, they have a support system, right? I don't have that. That is not my reality. I can't go to the gym 3 times a week. So therefore, I've decided, hey, let me simplify my life. I'm not going to resist my current reality. I'm going to accept the challenges that set before me, and I'm going to make moves and make decisions surrounding that in ways that support my current reality. So this can apply to your life. Now I've decided to work out from home because it's easier for me to take care of my children, to juggle all of that, and I still get the same results that I would have gotten if I was at the gym. Date nights is not a thing for us right now. We don't have a built-in sitter. We don't have parents who live nearby. So what we do is we just Netflix and chill at home. Sometimes we get really creative. I remember one year my husband went all out and we went all out together and we just love on each other. We've accepted our reality. It helps us to lead a happier and healthier life instead of looking for ways to keep up with people that do not have the same reality that we do. So accepting what is, accepting your challenges, accepting your reality, no longer resisting is the first step to simplifying your life. Because now you can plan out your day, you can plan out your week around your priorities. My priorities, number 1, I'm a mother. Number 2, I'm a wife, okay? And I'm a military spouse. So that's my reality that I'm finally accepting. And let me tell you, it took a long time for me to do that. And now I have the peace and clarity that I did not have in such a long time. Number 2, quitting social media. Now this I'm sure you've heard of before. Just recently, Busta Rhymes, he was on stage performing and he completely had a meltdown for good reason. people were on their cell phones. And instead of enjoying the moment and being in the present moment, they were too busy posting how much fun they were having rather than actually having fun. Okay. So social media is a dangerous thing because it makes it harder to remain present. It opens doors to overconsumption of information, brain overload, right? And it leads to FOMO, the fear of missing out. It also leads to the comparison trap, right? Where you're constantly comparing where you are compared to where someone else is. So a lot of people don't talk about digital wellness as much as they should. We hear about mental wellness, we hear about physical wellness, but we are now part of the digital age. So digital wellness has to be a thing. And that is the relationship between yourself and technology. So we talk so much about cutting people off, right? Oh, I'm cutting her off, I'm cutting her off. But we're still managing to find ourselves watching the news, and it's super negative sometimes, or stalking the same people that we cut off in the physical world, but we're stalking them in the digital world, and we're trying to keep up with what they're doing. And we're like, girl, look what she's doing. Look who she with. That is not healthy for anyone, okay? It's not healthy. Digital wellness requires you to do some cutting off, not just in the physical world, but in the digital world as well. So you have to become more mindful about how much time you're spending on social media. Set boundaries for yourself. There's apps out there that can actually set a timer for you. Like, okay, I'm gonna only be on social media 2 hours a day. I used to post on everything, okay? Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and now I'm doing YouTube. I ain't doing that. Oh no, girl. Because what happens is I have to now respond to the comments. I have to now keep up with all of these platforms. But hello, like I said, I'm accepting my current reality. I have 5 children and a whole husband. No. If something's going to suffer, it won't be them. That's my number one priority. So I had to do some elimination. I simplified. So you need to find ways to detox from social media, okay? So I have an app on my phone. It's built into my iPhone, and it helps me to eliminate how much time I spend on social media. You can do the same. If you don't have that, there's apps you can download. So here are some of the outcomes of unplugging from social media. You will be more productive. Can you imagine? Do you know how many times I've seen people just scrolling on social media? 2-3 hours went by, they accomplished absolutely nothing. And you want to develop meaningful relationships, have meaningful conversations. And let me tell you, that cannot happen on social media. I'm just sorry. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Now, you can make meaningful connections on there. But however, if you want to nurture a healthy connection between yourself and other individuals, you need to get off. Okay, tip number 3 is going to be a little tricky for many of you, because it's all about multitasking. I actually set a limit for myself that I will do a maximum of 2 things at a time. And this is someone, like I said, you're looking at someone who has 5 kids, okay? I am typically doing 8 to 10 things at a time. I'm talking about doing the laundry, cooking, cleaning, helping with homework, talking on the phone because a friend is going through a breakup, whatever, okay? And we live in a world where we promote that superwoman and do it all. You got this, girl. That is a dang lie, okay? That is a lie. Now I set a limit for myself so I don't lose my everlasting mind. Juggling multiple things at a time actually decreases your productivity. It decreases your level of efficiency. Just imagine the quality of all the things you're doing if you're doing multiple things at once. Imagine I'm writing an article for USA Today and I'm trying to help my daughter with her homework at the same time while cooking. Something's going to burn, more than likely the food. And if it's not the food, my daughter's not going to do as well because she's not getting my full attention. My article is going to suck. The editor is going to look at me like, girl, what were you doing? Were you cooking while you were writing this? Because I'm seeing a whole recipe in here and you're supposed to be writing about closing on homes. The reality is our brains were never designed to do all of these things at once. So challenge yourself to practice mindfulness and single tasking, not multitasking, single tasking. Maybe you can just do 1 thing at a time. 2 is my max. So here's my next one. Less phone time. Now I talked about digital wellness, talked about separating yourself from social media and embracing being in the present moment. Now, what I mean by less phone time, I'm meaning more so when it comes to talking on the phone or using your phone for other reasons outside of social media. My phone is off the hook. A lot of times I put it on silent. My ringer is off 90% of the day. That way I can have a moment to decide whether or not I want to pick up the phone. Because we end up being on the phone too long, sometimes 1, 2, 3 hours a day. And a lot of times this leads to other things. Next thing you know, you're getting everyone's problems piled up on you. Now you're starting to gossip about things that have nothing to do with you. It's so important to embrace solitude in some way. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to make isolation your portion for your entire life. It's not healthy, right? But to some degree, you need to embrace solitude. Okay, you have to embrace having moments where you can just be with yourself and to hear your own thoughts and to just breathe and slow down and not take on all of the cares of the world. I have to embrace the fact that this is my reality. I cannot be everything for everyone. So you have to learn to set those boundaries. You can't be on the phone with your mom for 3 hours in a day when you have things to do. You have to prioritize being in the present moment, and that also includes stepping away from the phone. And that leads to my next thing, setting boundaries. No means no, okay? A lot of times we don't think about ourselves. We are people pleasers to some extent, and that leads to burnout. We don't identify our own personal needs at that very moment. Like, I have emails I have to answer. I have calls I have to respond back to that's in alignment with my work as a journalist and a freelance writer. So I don't have the time, and I'm wasting time if I continue to say yes to absolutely everyone because I'm fearful of letting someone else down. But guess who we let down? Ourselves. So we have to learn to communicate more clearly, okay? Using statements that start with I. I cannot take this call right now because I need to take care of X, Y, and Z. It is the most selfless thing you can do. If you think that self-care is selfish, you are wrong. I cannot be the best friend to my friends if I don't take care of me. I can't be the best mom to my children if I don't take care of me and if I don't prioritize my own needs and identify them effectively. So you have to be consistent when it comes to how you set your boundaries. You can't just say one day, no, I'm not going to do it. And then next week you're like, all right, fine. No, that's not a boundary. Leave it up. Okay. Put a lock on it. Keep it sealed. That boundary has to be locked in and set in place. Here's my next tip. You have to declutter. And I'm not just talking about your physical space. I'm also talking about your social circles and your mental space. Now, it is important to declutter your home. I will show you some footage of that if you would like. And I like to keep everything at a minimum because it makes cleaning up easier and it makes it easier for me to function. Just can you imagine sitting down in a space that's just cluttered? There's things absolutely everywhere. And the moment you start to declutter your life, removing things that are not productive and does not support where you want to be, it actually increases productivity, right? Just even right now, before I came in to record, I didn't have to do any cleaning. I didn't have to frantically move things around. It was already clean because it wasn't much to do because we live in a fairly decluttered home, okay? We don't have stuff everywhere. And always remember, clutter and the conditions of your home. The conditions of your home is a reflection of your mind. If there's clutter everywhere, that's a sign that your mind is cluttered. But when you have clear space and you make sure things are organized and you have things in alignment, that is a sure sign that your mind is as well. Studies have found a connection between our environment and our mental health. It makes life easier. It simplifies your life to the highest level. Can you just imagine waking up in the morning, the home is clean, there's nothing much to do. Maybe you have just one t-shirt on the floor, you just pick it up and hang it up. Just simplifying your life makes a less chaotic day-to-day for yourself. It makes it easier to be more productive. It increases your energy because now you're not burning out your energy trying to clean up, trying to fix things, trying to hide clutter. And also imagine getting rid of all the toxic clutter in your contact list. Let's not forget, answering the phone to toxic people can be draining. It can drain and suck the living life out of you. Declutter that too. Just think about, how many ways can I simplify my life and get the peace and the clarity and the happiness and the joy that I truly deserve? Because you deserve it. Did you know that clutter can stifle creativity? Now, I don't care what line of work you do, creativity is so important for absolutely anyone. It helps us to think straight. It helps us to think ahead. It helps us to be able to create and to maneuver around life because life is going to happen. It helps to create a healthier living environment for everyone. And here is my next one, hyper independence. Why is that even a thing? Sometimes I think that the movements that have started for great reasons have eventually transformed into something that it was never meant to be. You know, I think about feminism and I think about where it started and the great things it's brought all of us as women, and where it is now. I'm like, we are creating such a hyper independent community, and it's not good for absolutely anyone. You know, I'm not team Miss Independent. I believe in interdependence, which is understanding the value of the relationship with yourself and the value of relationships with those around you. Okay. Understanding that it doesn't take anything away from you when you realize you cannot do it all. In fact, you're going to kill yourself, literally. While independence is usually seen as a positive trait, hyper independence is not. Okay, that's when you're putting all the pressure on yourself. You are just relying on you to do absolutely everything and be absolutely everything for everyone. That is the opposite of self-care. That is self-harm. Okay, that is not good to anybody, including those around you. So hyper independence leads to isolation. Now, there's nothing wrong with some temporary isolation. Sometimes we need our alone time. It's actually healthy, and I support that. But when you take a vow to isolation and loneliness for the rest of your entire life, and you don't look at the benefits of community, you are going to fail. Nothing was built by one person, okay? Even this home that I live in was built by multiple hands. The children that I carried was created with the help of someone else, which is my husband. You need to have access to help, community, and support. Don't miss the mark by trying to prove how strong and how tough you are by being hyper independent. It's not cute, girl. It's not cute because you're going to look stressed out. You're going to add so many years to your life. You're going to look like you're 80 when you're only 40. Trust me, I've seen it, and I know you've seen it, okay? It also leads to burnout. You need to be comfortable with delegating tasks. Even when it comes to cleaning my home, my children all pitch in. Even my husband pitches in when he comes home. He doesn't necessarily have to because the home is already clean, because I have all of us working together. But it's nice to know that it's not all on me any longer. And let me tell you, burnout is real. Burnout would lead you to the mental hospital, okay? Burnout would lead you to a lot of illnesses that don't even run in your family. It's not even genetic. It's something that you brought upon yourself, and it's not good. It's not good for anybody. So when you get over the hyper independent stage of your life, it allows you to collaborate with other people, see different ideas. It allows you to open yourself up to even more opportunities and possibilities, which then leads to accomplishing your goals even faster. So now you're simplifying your life by not trying to think of ways of doing things by yourself or process information on your own. You're now able to bounce ideas off of someone else. You're now able to get help with areas that you didn't have help in before. And you're delegating tasks. You're getting support. You're growing. You're thriving because you're no longer taking a vow to isolation and independence, and you're taking a vow to interdependence. So independence, yes, it's all about self-sufficiency and self-growth and empowerment. And it is empowering. But let me tell you, there's nothing more empowering than being interdependent and collaborating and accepting that I cannot do it all alone. That was the most empowering moment of my life when I realized I can't do this alone. And guess what? I don't want to. I'm going to simplify my life, and I'm going to ask for help when I need help. And it's not taking anything from me. I'm still brilliant. I'm still amazing. I'm still strong. I'm just not going to take a vow to independence anymore on the level that is dysfunctional and not supportive of me living a happy and healthy life. Now, self-care is a big one. It is so big. It is crucial in order for you to live a life that is productive, to live a life that is healthy, to live a life that allows you to truly thrive. I'm going to give you a funny story that happened recently. I actually got severe sunburn. Me and the fam, we went out, we had a picnic, we had such an amazing time. And I was so busy taking care of everyone else, and I made sure everyone else was covered in sunscreen. I was spraying the kids literally like every hour. And here's the funny part. I did not put sunscreen on myself. And in fact, let me tell you, I was in so much pain the next day. My skin was peeling. It was burnt, like so burnt, severely burnt, where I had to take pain medication, Motrin, in order to alleviate the pain. And I was sitting there like, how did I forget about myself? And this is very common, especially for moms, dads. A lot of us are taught to be selfless, and selfless means to take care of everyone else around you, not realizing when you don't take care of yourself, that is one of the most selfish things you can do, because how can you take care of anyone else if you don't take care of you first? So I'm at home. We couldn't even go out the next day or the day after because my shoulders were on fire. Okay, we couldn't go to the beach. We couldn't go because I was in pain. So guess what? Now the children are affected. We can't go nowhere. Mom's burnt out. She's on the couch looking like she's melting. And that's all because I didn't acknowledge the necessity of self-care in my own personal life for myself. So you have to take deliberate actions. Make it a priority to take care of you first. And it's funny because I am practicing that part right now. Self-care, prioritizing my mental, physical, digital well-being. It starts with me first. That's the only way I can be a great mom, a great wife, a great friend, a great daughter, etc., etc. So self-care also includes your diet. How are you feeding your body? Are you eating McDonald's every day? Are you eating crappy foods every day and you're expecting to have the energy of a lion to tackle your day-to-day responsibilities? No, that's not how it works. So self-care involves what you put in your body. How much do you love you? How much are you going to invest in yourself in order for you to live a more productive life? Another great thing about prioritizing self-care is self-esteem. Your self-esteem actually blossoms because you're taking time to nurture you, okay? You're saying, I love me. I think I'm important. I think that I'm good enough to be cared for and to be nurtured just the same way as I nurture and care for my children, right? I believe that I am deserving of those things. It makes you more self-loving and less self-critical. You understand your needs. You identify them better. So it reduces stress. You take time to breathe, take time to meditate, take time to unwind. I am a prayer girl. I am a praying warrior. My time to unwind is in my closet and I'm on my knees and I am praying and I'm talking to the Lord. And that is my thing. If it's not your thing, just meditate. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever works for you, but make sure you prioritize self-care. Okay, so my next one is going to be on negative, intrusive thoughts. Okay, now that is something that I battled with a lot. I even read a book called The Battlefield of the Mind. Sometimes the most dangerous place is right here. So intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts can be extremely harmful if left unchecked. You have to begin to challenge your thoughts as much as possible. Is this true? Does this make sense? Should I dwell on this thought? Is it supportive of where I'm trying to be? Is it supportive of my growth? Is it supportive of my mental health? If not, it's time to eliminate it. Sometimes what you can do is write down those negative thoughts and challenge it. I have thoughts like, I'm overweight because I was 200 pounds after I had my fifth baby and I wasn't happy with my weight. And I would tell myself the most meanest things. And this was just in my thoughts. I didn't have to say it out loud. I was already thinking it. I would look in the mirror and I was completely destroying myself. And I was thinking the worst, okay? And let me tell you, it makes you not want to do absolutely anything. You don't even want to go outside. You know, those negative thoughts like, oh my gosh, see if this person is talking about me. You know, like all those thoughts are absolutely crazy at times. And we can drive ourselves nuts if we leave it unchecked. And what we have to do is prioritize eliminating them and challenging them. Is this true? Is this coming from a form of PTSD? Did I experience this in the past? Is it triggering, right? And acknowledge those feelings, acknowledge those emotions, and challenge them. You can say things like, but say if this person is XYZ, say if this situation won't be so bad, say if I put this outfit on and I go outside and I will have the greatest day of my life. So there are different practices you can do. There's CBT. Now there's apps on it. You can download the app. You can find yourself a therapist and mention CBT and see how that can help you. So you're acknowledging the negative thoughts, which is a pattern. Some of these thoughts are repetitive. And that's when it becomes the most dangerous, when it's consistently happening and it's starting to stifle your growth. You're sitting there in handcuffs and don't even realize it. And it's all starting with your thoughts. So there are different techniques you can do in order to promote a more positive mindset. Even before starting my video, instead of thinking, oh, people are going to absolutely hate it, people may not like it, oh my God, they're going to judge me, they're going to be mean, I was like, there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. Someone's going to absolutely love it. Someone's going to be changed, or someone's going to find ways to improve their lives behind this video. And I'm going to do it anyway, even if 3 or 4 or 5 or 15 people don't like it. You know, I'm going to do this for the people who were meant for me and meant to be part of my community, meant to thrive, meant to grow. And I'm going to believe for the best, right? That's a shift in my mindset. And lastly, this one is my favorite: keeping a schedule. Let me tell you, keeping a schedule has changed my life. I do something called block scheduling. And that is when you create time slots throughout your day and you commit to a specific task. So for instance, from, let's say, I don't know, 9 to 12, that's going to be my commitment to making sure I fit in my play dates with my kids. Maybe I'll run errands. And then from 12 to 2 will be quiet time. That's when nap time takes place, and quiet time for our older children, where they're going to read a book or whatever. And that's the time when I can schedule appointments. That's the time when I can work on articles. That's the time when I can work on responding back to emails. So keeping a schedule not only helps you to maintain a more balanced life, it reduces stress, because now it takes away the guesswork on what you have to do that day. It helps you to also stop the procrastination. Procrastination is so stressful when you find out that you have an assignment, or you have an appointment, or you find out there's something you were supposed to take care of and you kept putting it off because either A, you were forgetting about it, or B, you had so much anxiety surrounding that issue or that task, and you were just putting it off because you were too afraid to tackle it head on. And now you only got 30 minutes left to the clock and you got to finish it. Can you imagine the stress that we put on ourselves just from procrastinating? Also, when you make a schedule, you have better decision-making skills. This is my workout time. And this time slot, from this time to whatever, you may say 3 to 4 is your time to spend time or catch up with family and friends or whatever. And after that time is up, all right, that's it. We got to go. I got to go. I got things to do. I'm entering my new time slot. So with the schedule, I'm able to reach my goals better. I'm able to achieve work-life balance. You cannot do that without a schedule, guys. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have a notepad and you write it down. Create a schedule. Even I will challenge you to set an alarm. I have an alarm that goes off, and it reminds me, like, all right, Kim, that time slot is up. It's time to move on to the next task. Let me tell you, you go to bed at night feeling so accomplished, so much peace. You're not procrastinating anymore. You have a schedule. You know what to expect. The guesswork is taken out. Oh my gosh, paradise. Let's go. The best part is when you keep a schedule and you simplify your life, you are holding yourself accountable. Okay? You are saying, I am committing to simplifying my day today. I am committing to me. I'm committing to self-growth. I'm committing to self-love. I'm committing to happiness, because in order to achieve those things, I have to simplify my life, because the truth is, scientifically proven, we were never meant to carry all of these burdens at once. We were always meant to move in a way that is simplified in order to support who we are and who we're becoming right where we're planted. Okay, so accept who you are, work on digital wellness, eliminate the distractions, and embrace a life that, I'm telling you, you'll never want to go back to the way things were. Just join in on the conversation so I'm not feeling like I'm talking to myself. Hit that like button if you liked my messaging. Leave a comment. I want to know, what else do you think that people can benefit from when it comes to simplifying their lives? How did you simplify your life? And I would love to know what changes and what were the benefits behind those changes that has changed your life forever for the best. Okay. And don't forget to subscribe. I have more content coming to you soon. Take care and God bless.